Well, hey there, folks. Hope everyone out there is having a good day. Today is Saturday, May 27th, 2023. Pretty much the end of May. I did just get done mowing the lawn. I went ahead and waited 8 days before I mowed it this time. And I did use the Cobalt 40 volt lithium mower. And overall, I'm pretty happy with the job it did. There's a couple stragglers here and there. I only went over it once diagonally. That's it. I didn't go over it like a diamond pattern, just one time. I'd say overall it's pretty good. You can see there's a couple stragglers. Like you can see one there. Let me get down here. Might be able to see there's a couple here and there. But overall, compared to my gas mower, which doesn't leave any stragglers, I'd probably give it about a I'm gonna say I'll probably give it a score of about 85 to 90. Yeah, I'd probably give it a 90. I think it worked pretty good. Definitely had enough power to, I mean, the grass wasn't all that tall. I had about a full bag's grass, which isn't a whole lot. But I got through it with no trouble. It didn't struggle. And if you're asking, you know, did I line the tires up right in the last path tires? No, I actually overlapped it by about probably about 3 inches on every pass, 2 to 3 inches, just so I got everything. But yeah, I think it worked out pretty good. I think it looks pretty nice here. And I did go ahead and use the Cobalt 40 volt lithium straight shaft string trimmer too. That does a pretty good job too. It doesn't have quite the RPM or the torque as my gas unit, so as you get around the trees, you know, where the grass grows a little taller, every once in a while it will kind of grab the grass and it'll try to dig in, whereas if you have a more powerful unit, it'll just whip right through it. Not bad though. I'd probably give that string trimmer about an 80 overall compared to my gas unit. Anyways, that's what the yard looks like after mowing it. Nice and green. I'm real happy with the way the grass looks. Here's the apple tree here. Thank goodness it's got its leaves back and it's filling out. I was wondering if I really butchered it when I cut it back, when I pruned it back. I don't know if we'll get any apples on it this year though. I don't, we had plenty of flower buds on it, but I don't see any apples forming. Maybe it's too early, I'm not sure. It's always a possibility. But regardless, I think it's looking pretty good and it definitely needed to be pruned back no matter what. There's a cherry tree. It also flowered and it does have cherries forming on it. Don't know how many we'll get, but you can see it definitely has cherries starting to form on it. The birds usually take quite a bit of them when they start turning red, and that's fine. I think the big problem here is as the trees bud, it seems like it does this every year, right? They get all their flowers and then a terrible wind comes through, you know, like 50, 60 mile an hour gust. It just blows all the flowers off. Oh, we got a ladybug on here. Probably eating some little aphids or something, whatever they eat. Here's my butterfly bush. It hasn't got any flowers yet, but I'm sure it will. It's getting quite big. As you can see, my drip system is on. My lawn will come on next. But all my pots, planters, everything, they're all getting watered right now. I do have a half watermelon out there that the tortoises eat. Here's my grapevine that's growing, as you can see. The tortoises eat this as well. There's the remainder of a chayote squash. I'm sure the tortoises will finish that off. They really like those. There's the pear tree. I was hoping it would widen out. That's why I pruned it down, which it may. It may still widen out. But this one does have a lot of fruit forming on it. as you can probably see. And it is 3 different varieties on here. It's a graft tree, 3 different varieties. And it does have a lot of fruit. The wind blew a lot of it off, but it still has quite a bit on here. You can see what the wind all blew off. I mean, there's quite a bit on the ground. The Cobalt 40 volt lithium mower didn't have enough suction to pick those up. So that's something to note. The grass plants are growing nicely up here at the top of the yard with my little goat. Got a couple sunflowers popping up here, which will be nice. I only put a few back here this year. All the pots are starting to fill out. Here you can see those diagonal lines in the grass. Here's a little peach tree. We are going to get some peaches this year. This will be the first year. You got to get off the grass. Sprinklers are coming on, but I'll show you. All right, got to get out of here. There's a sprinkler kicking on. These are gear-driven sprinklers. Right now I'm currently watering the grass 3 times a week. For the lawn I've got it running 20 minutes 3 times a week. And then for the drip I'm doing that 10 minutes 3 times a week. But as the weather warms up, I will have to do it every day. And right now it's around 11 a.m. That's when I have the sprinklers coming on. Probably 11:30 right now. 11:20 actually. Because the first 2 drip stations take 10 minutes each. But when I kick it over to every day, I usually set it for about to come on at midnight during the summer hours. That way the water really gets a chance to soak in nice and there's not a lot of evaporation. There's more sunflowers and some Shasta daisies and other stuff that are starting to pop up. Here's my plum tree that I just planted here a few weeks ago I guess. Probably won't see any fruit on that for at least 3 years. That seems to be the norm. But it looks like it's healthy and it's doing well. My purple robe locust, which broke off in a violent windstorm. I think it might have been last year, early last year. I believe so. Could have been the year before. I think it was early last year. But anyway, the wind totally destroyed this tree. And I've shown this in other videos. I just had to come back here with the chainsaw and cut it up. And basically you can see right there. I just cut it straight down. That's just a stump right there. You can probably see in there. These are just basically suckers growing off of it. It'll never be a tree again. But, you know, it can be a little purple robe locust bush. I was going to pull it out of there and plant another tree in that spot. But believe it or not, that's actually in there really solid. So I just went over here and put the plum tree right here. And I figure I'll just leave this and just let it grow a little bush. I mean, we'll see what we get out of it. You never know, right? The problem is these are pretty brittle, and when the winds come, they do usually break these off. But we'll see how it does. It actually looks pretty healthy. I'm quite surprised. Here's the half-gallon wine barrel, or the half wine barrel with chocolate mint, which comes back every year. I have no idea what this is. I planted this one probably about 3.5, 4 years ago. But it comes back every year. It's a perennial, and as you can see, it's starting to get its little buds. It's going to bloom flowers, and it always fills out really nice in there. I used to have peppers. Yeah, I used to have red and green peppers in there. But I've since just went over to this, and this looks pretty nice. This lavender here, it came back from last year. I'm guessing that's a perennial since it came back. Either that or it reseeded itself. But either way, it's looking real nice. So that just was nothing but dirt in early spring, and it's already grown that much, looking really nice. I actually have 3 or 4 of those in the front yard that have come back too, looking real nice. So these might be something that I plant more of in the future. I'm not exactly sure what it's called. I just call it a lavender because of the color, but it's probably something else. Now I did plant this in here this year, which is a perennial. I'm really not sure what it's called, and it doesn't look like I saved the tag, but it did get nice flowers, and most of my plants I get when they're on clearance at either Lowe's or Home Depot. And that's the only thing that was in here. You know, nothing was in there since I planted it. But since this has came up, and I really don't know what this is, but I'm going to leave it. Looks like it's doing real well. Does anyone know what this is? I might have to do a Google image and see, but it looks like it's going to crowd that other thing out. I'll check it, and if it's something decent, I might leave it. If not, maybe I'll take it out. Then over here, I planted a couple of these perennials. I forget the names of them, but I know yellow flowers, and I believe, yeah, this one here is a burning bush, is what that is. And I did plant some smaller sunflowers in here, which are popping up here and there, as long as the tortoises don't eat them and dig in there. This is obviously coming up. I must have planted that last year. Not really sure what it is, but we're going to leave it. Look who came out to see me today, my big male tortoise. You are, yeah, you're the male. Take a double take. He's out here sunbathing. He'll get right up to the camera. He's not camera shy at all. Here, let me show you guys. He's a little more shy than the female. But for the most part, these guys are super, super gentle. They won't bite you like a water turtle at all. See, look, he likes getting petted. Look at that. Matter of fact, he wants some food. So how about I pause this real quick, guys. I'll go get some food for him, and I'll be right back. Stand by. Alright, folks, I'm back. I've given him an offering of mulberry leaves or dandelions right there. To my surprise, he went after the mulberries. I mean, they love mulberries, but dandelions are usually their #1 go-to. So he'll probably eat the mulberries, and he'll eat the dandelions, and he'll go on my grass and start eating my grass, and probably try to get my evening primrose and other things. But over here's the ivy I planted about, it's been probably at least 4 years now. Really struggled the first few years, but it's really blowing up this year. There's obviously 2 different kinds. I know I planted 2 different plants. You can see the different colors in the leaf, so I'm guessing those are 2 different types. It's looking pretty nice though. I don't think I'll let it creep out too much further, but I wouldn't mind if it goes up the side of the shed a little. I don't think my wife would mind either. She actually likes this. She wanted me to plant it. So it's looking pretty good here. This here is just one of those little Christmas tree things you buy from Walmart, you know, in a foil pot that you can replant. I forget what species it was. It said it was a dwarf, but it could get like 60 feet tall. So I guess if that's a dwarf variety. I just threw it in here. It's been here for a couple years now. It looks like a real slow grower. I've got it over here in the shade. And if it ever does start to get too big, I'll plant it somewhere else. Do something with it. Oh, look at that. The thunder clouds are starting to roll in. That's how it is up here in the summer. Actually, that's how it is in most places that are higher elevation, I've noticed. Places we go camping at or whatnot. You get a real sunny morning, and then around noon or so, the clouds will start building. Sometimes you'll get a nice afternoon rainstorm out of it. Pretty common for this time of year. I actually like it. Oh, I just noticed, look at that. I have an evening or Mexican primrose up there. I had no idea. So, it's a perennial, it comes back every year. These usually seem to do good in like real, just bad soil. And since my soil is pretty good back here, these seem to struggle a bit. They were doing pretty nice until my tortoise got in there, even with all this in the way, even the big concrete tortoise, she got in there and ate it up. But you can see a couple sprouting here and there, and I guess it's actually growing out. I've got one of my grass plants, so that's nice to see there. And I do have another one here. And it looks like it's getting, you know what? I think this is two different types of plants. Yeah, it is. Oh, I see. The one on the bottom's a primrose, and this is something else. Whatever it is, it's going to grow, so that's nice. Here's a little fountain I put out here for the birds. The birds like getting a drink from that for sure, and taking a bath in it. Now on my cherry tree, I was a little disappointed to see this. You can see this spot right here. It looks like the spot on this side has died, and I don't know why that would be. It got buds on it in the early spring, and then it got real cold again. But for some reason, just this part right here didn't pull through. Everything else did just fine. So I don't want to cut it out. I mean, it's only a small portion of it. What I might do is at the end of the year, I might get a hold of an arborist. Maybe have an arborist thin it out a little bit, see what he thinks. I think that would be the best move there. Because besides that little bit, you can see it's a really healthy tree. I do have the hummingbird feeders up, and the hummingbirds visit it all day long. Yeah, the grass is looking mighty nice, I must say. It's really looks good this time of year. Periwinkle, columbine, some type of lavenders, I would guess, not sure. These are all coming back from last year. I didn't plant anything in here. I was going to get rid of this pot altogether, but I saw a snapdragon popping up, so I left it. More things coming up from last year. Another periwinkle. Forget what this is called. I just call it a miniature carnation, even though I know it's not. Now once again, all these pots, they're all on drip line back here. Here's another butterfly bush. That's in a azalea right there. All my other pots there, they all look real nice. There's another periwinkle over there. There's another butterfly bush. And all the butterfly bushes I planted, they're all different colors. Dark purple, light purple, pink, white. They're all different colors. I forgot what these are, guys, but they are going to flower later in the year. They are a flowering bush. Here's the grasses here, but they're really coming back strong. Yeah, so these should definitely flower. There's the Icelandic poppy, and it puts up all different colors, as you can see. One of them are down there in the pot. There's Bird Village over there, which there is a resident in there. It's probably already laid eggs. Alright folks, that's pretty much it. Just wanted to show off my wife's climbing rosebush here on the little trellis. It's doing real nice. Look at those beautiful blooms on it. You know, I was using the hedge trimmer on this to square it all off, but this year I've just been using the little hand pruners. It looks more natural, and you don't accidentally, you know, cut all the blooms off with the hedge trimmer. But yeah, I'm real happy with the yard. It's looking good. It'll look even better as things grow a little bit more. Got some strawberries right here. You can see that pot's just exploding, looking great. There's my duck. course, my windmill. And I love the sign my neighbor got for me. Isn't that awesome? Look at these. Aren't these just beautiful? There's a little, oh, there was a little bee on one of them over there. Got some strawberries popping back up from last year. That's the orange rocket brayberry there. Isn't that looking nice? My wife really likes these. Alright folks, that's all I got for you. Have a good one out there. I'll catch you next time.